Hello, welcome to the AI team. This week we'll go through Sprint 4. We've had some major bugs fixed, and also we got a nice presentation from Adam as well. So let's kick it off. So the sprint goal was to ensure that Adam has a successful talk at APA Summit, and it sounded like it was a success. Adam, do you have anything to say about the talk, how it went?
I can't talk, but it was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of nice messages from a lot of people. So can I just encourage you guys to have a look at the post on LinkedIn and Twitter and what other places and just reshare them. I think it's good, and it's and the post I did references the Barrel project, which might mean we get more of it.
Awesome. Nice. So for timesheets, it was myself, Michael Q, Caleb, and Eddie. And on to the issues. So the first two were about your talks, just improving the slides and also updating examples. Michael or Eddie, anything in particular you want to bring up?
No, I think it overall went pretty well. The slides have been updated with proper instructions. So yeah.
Cool. If any questions on this, if there's nothing, I'll move on. I'll move on to the next one, which was a Booking Pro bug. So this was reported by Costa. This was reported by Alvin a while ago. So this was a bug where accepted bookings would auto cancel after 10 to 20 minutes. So it was a pretty big issue. And after investigation from Michael and Eddie, it seemed to come from same day bookings. And the issue was from the CRM sync that occurs when a booking is made. So Eddie talked to Lou, who works on CRM, and his response was that we should be doing bookings the same way that EasyLeave does it, which was separate itself from the bookings CRM sync. So that's now done, and that fixed the issue. So I've tested it, and we've sent off an email updating the stakeholders, the Booking Pro stakeholders on this, which are the account managers, and see if any issues pop up. Any questions on that?
Yeah, rather than just send off an email, you should be calling each one individually to check that it's all sorted and getting their feedback and hand-holding them until they're using it correctly.
Sure, I can get in a call with Levi and all the other stakeholders. Cool. The next two are about clothing call. So Michael, do you want to go through what you've done?
Yep. With the setup, I've set up the instructions documentation. So I went through this with you, Adam, earlier today. I saw your email with regards to the error that popped up, and I will investigate it after this call. I don't think we need to spend too much time on this one unless you have any other questions. All right. Well, let's keep it moving. The next one is the Open Core Consulting page. So this was just a quick image fix. As you can see, originally we had this AI stock image. It's now been replaced with a nice image of yourself and Stu, with the Mac Mini making a nice cameo appearance in the bottom left-hand corner. So that is the gist of that update. So if that's all good, I'll hand it off to Lewis to cover the crystal ball changes.
Thank you. So the next one is on crystal ball. So the old, before, when everything was on Eddie's Azure environment, it was creating its own app service plan. So Rob sent me a message to move this to the shared app service, and also send a purchase please so they have a record of this. So that's all. It's all done. But a simple thing. And the last one, I hand it back to you, Michael, to talk about.
So
workshop.
Originally, this was a bigger thing, but Adam's APA Summit talk obviously took priority, but we still gave Gert some nice feedback to his slides that he's going to use for the AI workshop. And we also have another item noted down to follow up with Gert with possible suggestions of content to include inside of his sides based on our AI sugar learning module. So ideally, we want to make this something that can be reused for whenever you want to host a AI workshop for developers. So yeah, any questions there, or should we keep it moving?
No questions. Okay,
Sweet.
let's move on. So R&D, Callum used Claude Code to cook up a sprint summary for our client. So we could use this and see if next week's sprint review could be done with Claude Code and see the quality and compare with this week's.
Yeah, I think if we're going to do it anyway, we should do it here in the AI team. So let's do that next week.
Cool. For AI tools, no changes here. And I hand it back to Michael for the AI stats.
Yep. With the Claude stats for the done this sprint, it's pretty much just gone through and summarized our PBIs. So don't need to spend much time there, but it's a little funny how it's called OpenClaw, OpenCall, and Kogan Claude, which is pretty funny. We can move on to the Copilot stats. So the speaker summary, again, is pretty separated. Pretty even. But this time Lewis has been dethroned. Now Callum is the top speaker percentage. So if we scroll down a little bit, Lewis, you can see that the Copilot analysis for the main issue completed was the Booking Pro bug with the same-day bookings getting auto-cancelled. So that is correct. That was the big issue that was solved this sprint, aside from our sprint goal. So yeah, I'll pass it off to Callum to cover the sprint retro if there's no questions there.
Yeah, I think I did the most speaking because I delivered a couple of monologues about about combining Yak Shaver and Sophie Claude. Anyway, sprint retrospective. So what went well? So Michael figured out the reason behind the random canceling bookings, which is obviously cool. Lewis fixed the pesky Booking Pro bug. And I think the biggest thing was Adam's APA talk went well, and you can see there's a nice photo of the event there. As for what didn't go so well, there was just one from Michael, which was he didn't do a great job of chasing up on reviews. So when he needed to get people to check things, so maybe we need to delegate those reminders to an AI or something so he can keep on top of it. What needs to improve? Michael said a lot of context switching from Tiger bugs. So whenever there's a bug in Tiger and it didn't work, Michael needs to go jump on it and fix it. And I think that's actually a good thing because it means he's got a big motivation to fix those bugs in Tiger so it runs more seamlessly. And that's why it's our focus for next sprint. Then the other thing from me was using AI better to manage these sprint reviews. And also investigating the crossover between Sophie Claw and Yak Shaver, which I think there is a lot of potential for work in there. Any questions on the review? Oh, no, sorry, retro.
If Willow doesn't need time on Tiger, it will be recorded in this sprint, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Michael, can you just make sure she knows that?
Yes. Okay.
Cool. Carry on.
If not, let's move on to the planning. So the sprint goals next week will be in order. So SSW Tiger no longer annoys Michael, and an alternative infrastructure for Sophie Claw is up and running. So we had Sophie Claw up and running on OpenClaw, but the sysadmins have expressed some worries regarding permissions, and they want us to find an alternative that's a bit more in terms of like amount of code and stuff, like more manageable. So there's already some options that they provided us, but we want to do research and see what is the best one we can use.
And what have we got? Nano Claude, Nemo Claw, and Claude Code with loops. And I guess a bit more research to see what other options are available too.
So on the backlog for next week, we have, so a lot of it's going to be about the first sprint goal, which is SSW Tiger. and then we have the Sophie Claw providers. There'll be a spike, and then from the spike, we'll deploy it to. Well, we'll get the sysadmin approval, and then we'll deploy it. Any questions on the issues?
Where's the one that I gave Michael and Eddie? What do you call it? Some fancy name?
Crystal ball.
Crystal ball. Where's that?
So that's been deployed. Is there? So what was the next step for that, Michael, Eddie?
Well, if it's done, I would want to go through it with them and give them feedback. I've got to use it. It's not just do the work.
Okay, let's we'll create a PBI for that, and then
And I would put it near the top because it's really important.
sure.
Okay.
Sure. Cool. Yeah, Eddie, can I get you to do that?
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, I'll hand it back to Michael to continue with the AI stats.
Yep. So for the next steps, it's again just pretty much grabbed our backlog. So it's mentioned to investigate alternative providers for Sophie Claw and a bunch of stuff about Tiger and chasing up on AI receptionist bug reviews. And it's also caught a couple points that we brought up in terms of just speaking about it. So things like following up with GERT and suggesting possible content expansion and a couple other things. If we scroll down a little bit, we'll see the Copilot projection for what's the main item to do next, which is the manual trigger for SSW Tiger. So that addresses our first sprint goal. So that is correct. If there's no questions there, I'll take over the screen share and then look over the AI summary dashboard. So I'll just grab that. Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
Sweet. So here's our dashboard. We were 4 minutes under target, which is good, and 76 out of 100 in terms of effectiveness. The main interesting points I found is that the hard truths mentions that the team is spread across 7+ products with 3 active members, and these are symptoms of poor focus, not individual failure. And I would say that is a good point because from sprint to sprint, we're often jumping on and off separate projects inside of SSW.AI. So that is, I believe, an actual issue, but something that needs to be spoken about or discussed. Another thing is the AI insights, and the elephant in the room I agree with is the R&D tracking being broken and normalized. So this is something that we definitely can improve on in terms of tracking our R&D, what happens, what fails, what succeeds, etc.
I believe that's something AI can help us with as well, by the way.
Yes. Another nice thing to call out is that our team's psychological safety is 8 out of 10. We're all pretty transparent with the things that we have issues on and the things that are blocking our things. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, that is pretty much the gist of this week's AI summary dashboard. Everything else is pretty basic. So that should be everything. If there's no questions there, I'll pass it back to Lewis.
Good summary, Mike.
Sweet. Nice. So I'll pick up the screen share. And that is all for the meeting today. So thank you for joining. I'll see you next week. Have a safe flight, Adam. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you guys.